You're such an asshole.
So we got a request from Down Under. That would be Australia. For those of you not raised in the 80s. And it's a good question on a very narrow topic, but the ramification I think should be expanded to be of benefit to everyone. Be like, oh, so you can not only expand your mind in the marketplace of ideas, but if we are part of a democracy and we're ultimately the ones that are responsible, like, look, the more important fundamental issue is Trump going to do anything this time? Right? Couldn't get a wall, right? Printed off money. And by the way, I'm sorry. Did Trump sign on did he? He did? Okay. He didn't prevent the money spending. It's like, God, guys, I'm a fucking economist and not one of those dick-sucking Keynesians like Paul Krugman. Like, oh my God, I got an ideology and I'll just abuse economics to make it seem like I'll just massage the numbers and be a complete fucking liar. No, I did unless I was wrong. Did Congress override his veto? Did he sign on he did? Okay, shut the fuck up. Like the previous video I did. Big letters. Liberal white women. Everyone's like, white women voted for Trump. Did you see the fucking adjective liberal? Did you fucking see it? I don't know how. Do you need me to put a fucking spotlight on it with fireworks going off behind it? Fucking Christ. So here's his request. Hi, Cappy. Greens from down under Australia. Like many, I've been pissing myself laughing at Trump getting reelected. Even over here, the soft cocks are crying. How do you think this will affect the World Economic Forum and their Great Reset bullshit? This victory feels like the West is finally pulling against DEI and all the woke liberal bullshit, which we did over here last year when we rejected the indigenous voice dog shit. It just sounds like more horse shit from parasites who don't want to work. Cheers. So I did a little bit of research. Let's go through what the Great Reset, and it's up there. It's on the World Economic Forum. The Great Reset Initiative is from Wikipedia, so it's biased. This isn't real. It's just, all our ballpark, our lazy research. I admit I'm lazy. The Great Reset Initiative is an economic recovery plan drawn up by the World Economic Forum in response to the disease. The project was launched in June of 2020, and a video featuring the then Prince of Wales, Charles, was released to mark its launch. The initiative's stated aims is to facilitate building from the disease in a way that prioritizes stable development. All right, it's okay, guys. The World Economic Forum is a bunch of rich little trust fund bitches who are just bored. That's like okay. Let me analogize it to something we all can understand, right? You play a standard leveling up game, right? Some kind of RPG, right? And you start at level 1. You're in the Shire and everything's green and wonderful, and you get a stick and you attack slime, right? You got like 5 hit points. Okay, right before you go to battle the main guy, right before it's the final boss, you've leveled up to level 50. It's the same thing with these leftist activist trust fund babies, right? They start in the current case of those who are leading the World Economic Forum. They started at level 1 in the Shire back in the 60s and 70s, right? Mommy and daddy, and tuition was really cheap, and I'm going to save the world, and they have their little stick and they're killing slime. Well, over the years now, they're like they're level 50 and they got all the armor and all the shit. All right. This is what they worked up to. This is the big leagues now. And that's what their entire lives have been. Now, at the end of the day, it's still a game. Because just because there's a flu going around, albeit a pandemic one, that doesn't mean the economy or the laws of economics have changed. And so these naive idealists are still playing the game that they somehow figure out. They are so naive and so ideological and so blind and so not caring about actually helping out the real world. Right, real people in the real world. They actually believe the laws of economics and reality are violable, not viable, violable, meaning you can violate them, right? You could ignore them, just as the laws of physics. I mean, I'm not kidding. When they think, you know what, now's a good time to reset things. Why? Because I think so. you're not the owner of that property. Well, we can change that. That's theft, and billions of people have worked for their house or whatever, their business and all that. But we know better. No, you actually don't. I mean, how many times we got to try communism, your little socialist ideals here? But they don't care. They're level 50. This is their big thing. This is their big video game. They're in a little fucking nerd club. They're a bunch of elitists. You could almost view it as the last hurrah. And so it doesn't surprise me when things were shut down. They came up, they're just so bored. Like, no, you know what? You know what? And what? Klaus, whatever the guy's name is. I guarantee if we look him up, that guy never worked. The World Economic Forum, it's like Brussels. It's a bunch of fucking elitist, snobby European pricks. And they're playing make believe, except it's not pieces on a chess or a D&D board or digital pixels on a video game. It's real humans' lives, because they're ultimately supremacist tyrants. World Economic Chief Executive Klaus Schwab described 3 core components of Great Reset: creating conditions for a stakeholder economy, building a more resilient, equitable, and sustainable way, utilizing environmental, social, and governance metrics, and harnessing the innovations of the 4th Industrial Revolution. This is all gobbledygook speak. It all means that. In the speech, introduced the initiative, International Monetary Fund Director Kristalina Georgieva listed 3 key aspects of sustainable response to COVID: green growth, smarter growth, and fairer growth. The Great Reset was the theme of the 2021 World Economic Forum at Davos, Switzerland. Great Reset, and more generally, has been criticized by some commentators for promoting economic deregulation. It doesn't sound like deregulation. A greater role in policy for unrepresentative private businesses, particularly large multinational corporations, at the expense of government institutions. Well, if I got to choose between corpos and notice that the people are never announced here. All right. So your concern is that, is Trump going to tell a non-elected, non-authority, non-sovereign, this isn't a country, it's a think tank, right? It's a nonprofit group. I don't care how fancy it is and who the big wigs are that go. At the end of the day, this is just a bunch of self-elected, self-important people who decided they're the authority on the world, right? The question you have, is Trump going to reject it? Yes, he is. Because if I recall correctly from my 8th grade civics class, I don't know if this falls under treaties, but what was it? The Senate has to ratify treaties, and the president inevitably signs off on them. But if you say, is Donald Trump going to subject themselves to no? If I recall, also, he said the global climate thing is now we're out of that. The Paris Accords. Am I remembering that right? President has some unilateral control and some says, no, we're not doing that. We're not in that. Right? So, yes, I believe Trump would not listen to the UN. I mean, most countries don't. China doesn't. China and India, like, no, we're going to make more carbon. Fuck off. And I think, yeah, under a Trump, but yeah, the question is, and obviously people say, well, where's the United States going to go in the future? Because where are the people going to vote? And don't worry, there's always a new batch of dipshit kids being raised by teachers and not their parents. Like, oh, we gotta save the world. Starting at level 1 with their stick, killing slime. Oh my God, I'm the chosen one. And this entire world was just made for me so I can be self-important, right? That's never going to go away. Like these self-anointed groups, they're never going away. There's like the Game Awards now for video games. That doesn't mean horseshit. The Oscars, that doesn't mean horseshit. The Nobel Peace Prize, that doesn't mean horseshit. And now you got the World Economic Forum and the UN and International Monetary Fund. I'm sure there's others. All the think tanks. But will Trump ignore them? Yes, I think so. However, that does not mean this is now a time to celebrate, right? And I know it's so sad. There is a reason to celebrate a Trump victory, because he's causing so much mental pain to the leftist parasites of the world who just want free shit and you guys to pay for it. That's ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what this is about. All right. Some people might have some genuine criticisms of Trump, but it's just, you're going to take away our free shit, which didn't. He gave you the most amount of free shit that any president ever did. Maybe except for FDR, gave you all Social Security over time. Or Lyndon B. Johnson. I'll take it back. Lyndon B. Johnson was probably the most charitable. Anyway, so we could celebrate a Trump victory because it pissed off all the right people. But if we want to get actually to productive policies, I would almost say apolitical, although the Democrats have become such anti-Americans that it's going to be political. But there has to be certain policies Trump enacts, or, which is what I'm afraid of, is just going to be like his first term, kind of nothing. He might have slowed some things down, but if there, this is, and people are, this is kind of like the last shot. I thought Camel's going to win it. So many people, so many illegal immigrants cheating, or you just, the Democrats are excellent at brainwashing young people and dividing people among different traits they were born with. I thought they had it and would be like that forever. Well, here we are, right? And there are some key critical things that he needs to do before I'm going to like, yay, America. He hasn't done, I mean, it hasn't been inaugurated yet. Right. Okay. So it's not his fault. So here's what, fine. He's not going to do the World Economic Forum. Fine. He's going to tell Klaus Schwab to stick a cactus up his ass. I'll mail one from Arizona as a gift. Here, shove this up your ass, Klaus. You know, you are German, aren't you? I think he is. I don't know. Maybe he's Austrian. I don't know. He's a Nazi. I have decided what the world should do. That would be cool. Just an aside. You'd get me back. You would definitely get me back on the James Bond franchise if the villain was very realistic, like Klaus Schwab, like some internationalist. I'm going to take over the world and we will take it because, but it'd be through a charity, right? Through a goody two-shoe nonprofit. Kind of like one of the best villains in the Harry Potter one is the teacher with the pink outfit. She just seems so pretty. But you knew she was evil. And then James Bond goes in and he exposes. That would be that you'd get me back. Oh, wait, no, but we're gonna have, is James Bond gonna be a black chick? Is it? Come on. Come on, do it. I dare you. Spend $1 billion on the movie. Anyway. So here's just me, right? But this is as far as my thinking has taken me. I've come up with not a long list. These are the key and critical things that Trump needs to do. Otherwise, his presidency, second term, will be irrelevant. All right? I'm not going to celebrate. Okay, yes, I am celebrating that liberal white women are raging and shaving their head and moving to Canada. I'm happy to see the Hollywood elites just getting pissed off and all that. I am excited to see the pussies and the pansies at CNN. I love seeing the women of The View just get sand in their hoo-ha. Yes, it's been all fun. All right, now, more seriously, here are the things he needs to do before I'm even going to consider. My plan is still get property overseas, right? Yeah, this is extending it, maybe. I just go look at the money supply under Trump, right? I mean, you got to look at the basic fundamentals. So here are the things he needs to do before I start thinking, well, maybe I don't have to have an insurance policy overseas. Maybe the boat won't sink in my lifetime. Okay. Maybe my book, Enjoy the Decline, is extended 20 years before what I think it is. And it's not an exhaustive list. All right. First, lock down the fucking border. I don't give a fuck. We didn't get funding for a wall. Send the fucking troops in. Start laying down landmines. Fuck Congress. Yeah, we got a bunch of troops. We don't need them in Germany. Why are they in Germany? That's the first thing. And the reason it's the first thing is because are you going to have a country or not? Are you going to have borders or not? The second thing is you kick out all the immigrants. Illegal, obviously, not legal. The illegal ones, get them out. Are we going to have a country? Are you going to have citizenship? Are you going to have sovereignty? If you're not, then in kind of a way, just open up the borders and just like let anyone come in. And we're more of a international economic zone. We're not a country. All right. And it's all give everyone the right to vote because the states are going to nip it. And oh my God, like, like what was it? Oregon, they give illegal aliens driver's licenses, right? But you just need a driver's license to vote. That's what I heard. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. No, that shit ends. And that's the third thing. You have to shore up the voting. Now, here you got, you got to worry about trampling on states' rights. But if it's national elections, I think the federal government has the right to come in and say, nope. There are some national standards and requirements for voting. You must be a citizen. You can't, if it was me, I'd be like, no, there's no mail-in ballots. There's no early voting. You're all going down like a good American. It should be a little bit painful. You're going to march down in rain, sleet, or snow, and you're going to stand in line, and you're going to fucking vote in person. And there's going to be people checking IDs. Shut up, then you don't want a country. That's go. Look, if you don't want sovereignty, go to Sweden, all right, where everyone just bends over and spreads their legs on the airport when all the foreigners land. All right, I'm talking the guys too. All right, you just say, what are all those what are those V's on the ground? What are all those pasty V's? What is that? And you get closer, like, oh, it's all the Swedes spreading their legs for the international community. Come in and fuck them. Oh, they're awfully welcoming people. By the way, you could expand that to Norway and Finland. Just saying. Copy, that's awfully bigoted. Hey, 60% Scandinavian, not my choice. Got the DNA thing. Like, oh, fuck, I'm 60% weakling. Shit. Well, I'm only, 17% Spaniards. That's kind of cool, I guess. Oh, there's the quarter Jew. I see. All right. Hey, those guys, there they are. There's Uncle Herschel. Anyway, where was I going? Oh, you have to show up voting. There's none of this. Foreigners get to determine. Non-citizens get to have a say in the management of this country. And then in no instance does the U.S. subserviate its sovereignty to international foreign interests, whether that's foreigners voting here or submitting to the UN or the World Economic Forum or any other horseshit organization that just declare themselves an authority because they got clinched butt cheeks. No. And that's it. That's my main thing. If you reestablish and send a big fuck you to the internet, I get this impression. Well, I don't have this impression. I know the international community looks at the United States like, look at these weak, sad fuckers. They used to be in charge, man. Look at how we just come in and knock their door down. I think a big old punch in the face to the international community. Like, hey, we're not fucking around. Get the president, the gal down in Mexico, like anyone from your border crosses into our territory, I've given my troops the order to shoot them. It's your fault if that happens. You could prevent them. You could stop it from coming up from wherever it is. All right? Just so you know. And I know you're gonna test me. You're gonna test me. But when the first 3 people, innocent kids likely, are killed, you're gonna fucking think again. Like that kind of level of fuck off, don't fuck with me. Matter of fact, if you don't stop it on your side, we might just take a little bit of property on your end, just in another little mile or two. What was it, the Gadsden Purchase? That'd be me. Might be a bit extreme. But something to say, we're not fucking around anymore. Abso-fucking-lutely not. In the international community, they'd be, oh, you're not letting us come in there and influence you and raising you and steal your money. Yeah, you're right. So that's the minimum. Maybe not my version of it, but that's the minimum. Are you going to maintain the sovereignty of the United States? Period. The next things I'd like to see, that doesn't come close to what needs to be done. You have to understand, this is a car that the engine is barely running. There is so much shit wrong with this car that I would not consider Trump a success until he fixed the financial aspects of the country. There's the sovereignty problems. That's stopped the bleeding. And now we got some real serious shit to deal with in our own internal affairs, namely the finances. And I will not consider Trump a success until you get a balanced budget fucking amendment, I also want to see some kind of long-term, because there ain't going to be no short-term plan, some kind of long-term plan where you start paying down the debt. I want to see a labor rights or a knowledge rights bill, which is kind of amorphous the way I described it. But I want to make education free in America, not by giving free money to a bunch of college educated idiots. That's not what I'm talking about. But you got to make it illegal for corporations and employers to discriminate against people who didn't get college degrees but got the knowledge necessary to make them equally educated. In other words, you cannot discriminate against how, I know this is somewhat of an obscure concept, but you cannot discriminate against person's knowledge on how they acquired it. So if I go and self-educate myself on the internet and I can pass the CPA exam, no employer can come in and say, well, okay, we know you passed the CPA exam, but you don't have a master's degree, so you can't come in here. Bullshit. That's discrimination. It's discrimination against the young, and it's definitely discrimination against the poor. And I would even argue, if you happen to be of a minority or disadvantage, it's discrimination against you because you don't have the money necessarily to attend school as much as, say, white kids or Asians. And then if you got rid of that, that would definitely liberate young people where they wouldn't have to go to college for 4 years. They wouldn't have to go into financial debt. That would, and in total, shore up Americans' finances a lot. I know these are boring, granular things, but tweaks down here result in tremendous improvements in the top line of Americans' finances. So there's that, the balanced budget amendment, getting the economy going again. You also, and look, you're going to have to increase taxes for a little bit. I recommend the corpo, since they want to talk about leftist politics and DEI. Now is a rare opportunity. You get to go and punish corporations because they're leftists and take their fucking money. Oh, you want to say something about politics? Oh, well, now your tax rate is 60%. And until you shut the fuck up with DEI and Marxist shit, you're going to continue paying. You want to participate? You want to make political statements? You're going to pay. See, corporations, man. Oh, and by the way, you're going to not. Oh, God. Don't even get me started. Here's another thing Trump could do. It wouldn't be the necessary, but I think he should go in and fucking hunt down the HR assholes who thought it's okay to post fake jobs. Trump, that, if he's listening, I think the knowledge rights bill, however you'd want to term it, where you can't discriminate against people who have the knowledge, they just didn't go to college, and then just hunting down the people and making it illegal to post fake jobs, you would get so many young people to go with because you're actually helping them. Anyway, on a more not as creative, universally helping, you're probably going to have to increase taxes. Sorry, this is how the numbers are. You can't just print off more money and run deficits. Sorry, facts. But you're also going to have to cut spending. And until you reform the welfare state, or maybe kick it off to the states, right? This is, don't talk to me about platitudes and ridiculous haircuts and Margot Lindo or Lindo Marco or wherever the hell he lives. Are you going to cut the welfare state? I mean, I'm not saying you got to eliminate in total. You can't, because people are too dependent upon it. If you just eliminate it in whole or cut it too much, people are going to freak out. They don't know what to do because they don't have a work ethic. But are you going to reform welfare? And by the way, the biggest thing, Social Security. Are you going to reform Social Security? Sorry, old people. Come on, baby, light my fire. It's not tenable. Are you going to increase the retirement age, like, say, 70? Are you going to cut the benefits? Are you going to cut Medicare? And I hate to say it, this would show you if you're real. Are you going to start cutting VA benefits? Love the troops. Love you guys. God bless America. You're better than me. No, you shouldn't get $3,000 because you broke your wrist every month. There's abuse going on there, and you know it. I'm not saying the guy who lost a leg shouldn't be complete. No. But I got some buddies. I'm like, what the fuck? Really? Yeah. Okay. I guess it's better you get it than some trailer trash piece of shit single mom with 18 bastard children. Continuing on with my second tier before I consider him a success, he has to eliminate DEI or all forms of discrimination in America in all their institutions. Government, corporate, everything. Everything. There is no DEI. There is no discrimination. There is no affirmative action. It is made illegal. Full stop, period. It is meritocracy. You hire the best. That's it. I want to see it purged out of the military. I want to see it purged out of the fucking federal government. I want to see it purged out of corporations. You cannot have a functional country where it's like, well, these group of people get a little bit more, but not those group. No, it ends. It fucking ends. We go back to the 80s. Fuck you. Term limits. I know that's a hard one. And then here, a little bit of a joke. I won't consider him a success until he nukes California. Kidding. Just cut you off. That'd be easiest. Actually, if you want to punish California, you just keep letting California be California. You don't have to do anything to California. You just let Gavin Newsom be there. And that's it. Now, I know that's a wish list. All right. But on there's that first tier of reestablishing U.S. sovereignty. I don't want to hear anything until that happens. And then we're talking the long-term financial stability. They're all about sustainability. I'm like, I'm sorry, you need a balanced budget for that. And you gotta make it. There's an easy way and hard way to get out of a deficit. The hard way is we increase taxes and we cut spending. All right. And that's probably going to have to be part of it. Everyone's going to have to tighten their belts. That's going to have to happen. Sorry. The easy way, though, is you grow out of it. And I think we have oppressed and suppressed and kept young people from achieving their greatest with this fucking ridiculous college education system and college education requirements when the internet has liberated us a quarter century ago that we could all just work from home, educate from home. We don't need K through college, and you do a certification credential-based education. Right? Now, the government would come up with the test and say each of you industries must come up with your own test, but this requiring poor young kids go to fucking school for 17 years so they have the privilege for an entry-level position. Fuck you. That ends. And then you can release the full productive talent and ability of young people, which I don't know if you knew this. Young people are the future. Not you old gray hair pubes with your MBAs. Bachelor's required, master's preferred. Oh, but are you a Hispanic lady in a wheelchair? Oh, well, then you get, okay, here you go. You're now president and CEO. What do you mean the company's bankrupt? That shit. It's kind of like a right to work bill. Like, dude, stop making it so fucking difficult for young people to work. Stop making it for all people so fucking difficult to work. And President Cappy, I'd have my agents, right? And we'd find out who's posting fake jobs. And then also those people would disappear. I'd say, hey, remember Mike in HR? They'd be like, yeah, the guy who he was in charge of that project where he posted fake jobs so they could get their information and sell to the corporations, just build up an inventory of resumes that if a job came open, we contact the best one, but there really was no job. Yeah, that guy with the fake job posting project manager. Yeah, what happened? I don't know. He just disappeared one day and didn't show up to work. And his boss, yeah, Frankie. Yeah, I know Frankie. He disappeared too. I know what happened. Yeah, it's just weird, man. Like that, and then we're did you notice there's no fake job postings anymore on Indeed and the other place? Yeah, I noticed that. That's odd, man. It's just craziest thing happened, huh? Ever since President Cappy got elected. That's some crazy. I don't think there's a correlation whatsoever. A lot of people missing from HR though today. Did you see those guys in the black suits that showed up with the van? They carried out a body bag? Yeah, I wonder what was in that body bag. That must have been some files. GDP booms by 15% a year. We outgrow our deficit and debt problems. Everyone makes $100,000 a year on average. Oh my God. And no one has student loan debt. That's possible. That's possible. All right, let's go to the super chats. Haunt and goo. $5. New guy. 4 years won't offset generations of damn. No, you're right. This is It took us 60 years of the welfare state to get here. It's going to take us 60 years to get out. After that, anything he'd do will be done away with, and any other candidates are just rhinos and yeah, because the next president, and if not the next, like let's say Vance gets another 8 years, it probably won't happen. The way the country's going, it's going to be some leftist again. It'll be the Democrats will be in control again, and they're just going to undo everything Trump did, and they're going to go back because that's what humans want. Because humans are lazy, and the Democrats are the party of the lazy people. I'm not selling my crypto. I'm not getting rid of my precious metals. I'm not giving up looking property overseas. I'm not. Trump does all that shit. Oh, okay. Maybe I do have. It's not even looking for a home. I'm just looking for a boat that ain't sinking. Like rule one of governance, make sure your country's stable, right? Can't even do that. Mr. Nominate, $5. Just because Trump got in doesn't mean if you thought about exiting the United States, you cancel those plans. Absolutely not. Well, and then especially for men, not to bring it back to the sex war, really, okay, let's say Trump gets the economy going again. Is there a social reason to be here? Like, are the people cool? Are the people nice? Or is everyone still trying to stab each other in the back? Is everyone trying to screw one? Are NBA still trying to get your subscription service, bro? Or corporations still like trying to cut quality but increase price? Really? I mean, are the divorce laws still the same? You could get me to stay here if like the finances were secure, young people were educated correctly to get jobs, the finances were squared away. I say, oh, this is a stable, financially stable country to live in. But that don't mean like if the GF went away or whatever, I'd be like, yeah, I'm going overseas. What am I going to do? Hang out with people who just want to stay in and watch the game? Oh, yeah, Americans are just so fucking... Bro, you want to compare lease Beamers, bro? Bro, let's go to the nightclub, get some wings. Yeah, fuck that culture. Fuck you people. Extra runner, $5. Trump hasn't even been sworn in yet and already overthrew the German government. Labor Britain next. I don't know what happened to the German government. Did he really overthrow the German government? All right. Link below. Enjoying the decline, accepting living with the death of the United States. We'll see you guys later, Toodles.